Hi, this is Stir It Up, the Adventure Chef. My name is Shahid Rambali, and thank you for joining me for episode 1 of season 6. Today we're in beautiful Anse La Raye. This little area is very special to me. It's very close to Marigot, where I'm from. Not only is Anse La Raye known for its beautiful beaches and its bay and its quaint fishing village, it's actually right next to one of the largest rainforests in St. Lucia and a beautiful waterfall. So we're going to go explore this waterfall, and I'll be cooking a St. Lucia bouillon. It's a local soup where I'm going to be using ground provisions, plantains, lots of my local herbs and spices, and we're going to be cooking it right by the river. So join me, I'm Shahid Rambali, the Adventure Chef. Last season we took a trip to Anse La Raye for Journée Creole. We're headed back there today. I'm going to take you to my favorite arts and crafts areas and show you a few different gifts you can take back to your friends and family back home. Anse La Raye is a small fishing village located mid-coast on the Caribbean side of St. Lucia. Anse La Raye developed early on, especially with the Catholic Church. And one thing I like about Anse La Raye, not only do you have the quaint fishing village and the beach and a beautiful bay, you have the contrast with the rainforest and the rivers right next door. That's actually where we're going. As a young boy, I used to visit Anse La Raye quite a bit. My family had a large estate called the Venus Estate for many generations. And I remember going down to the river, catching crayfish, and also going through the rainforest looking for birds. So, that's a good spot to see the St. Lucian parrot as well. And with global warming and climate change, I've noticed St. Lucia has been suffering a lot with a lot of the watershed and rivers. And we're actually seeing a lot of these rivers getting smaller throughout the years. Places that you used to swim when you were a child are no longer existent. They're all dry riverbeds. So I think in the future we have to do a lot to conserve what limited resources we have here in St. Lucia. And the rivers and rainforest is definitely an important one of them. And I think it's very important in the tourism sector as well. And there's also a lot of potential with agriculture in that area. Anse La Raye is a location where you can find a lot of beautiful arts and crafts, especially by the waterside. And it's a lot of arts and crafts that's very unique to this area. And we're going to actually take a look and see how they're made, and all the different types of souvenirs that you can bring back for your friends and family from St. Lucia. St. Lucia has a lot of different types of souvenirs you could take home. They use a lot of the natural resources found here, usually in the rainforest or the jungle or the beaches. And one thing is our clay pots. Quite often I cook on the coal pot, but this is actually a clay pot here that has a lid that you could use to do a lot of soups. And it's a very effective method of cooking. It regulates the heat very well, and the older they get, the better they seem to work. And another thing too is a lot of the coconut husk. You can find coconut trees all over the place. The dry coconuts can be used in arts and crafts. Another great example is the hut behind me. This is a locally handmade hut made out of bamboo. This is a very typical structure you'd find in a lot of the local Creole areas of the island, especially when there's celebrations like Journée Creole. But it's actually a very special art to make these little huts, and a lot of them are waterproof. When it's raining, you can actually go there and take shelter. So there's actually so many things here in St. Lucia that's very typical of the arts and crafts that we produce. And especially a great thing to take home is a lot of things that's actually made from a little piece of St. Lucia. So join me, we'll be setting up very shortly here at the river, and we're going to be using our coal pot as well, and I'm going to show you a couple of the other local ingredients I'm going to be using. Hey folks, well we're going to get ready to make some nice solution bouillon. There's a couple of key ingredients I wanted to show you before we get started that I like to use in a lot of my cooking. You know, I use a lot of the local seasoning peppers. I can't put enough emphasis on the unique flavor that these have. They have the ones that are mild, and also we have a very hot one as well that we use for pepper sauces. Always try to take the seeds out. The seeds add a little bit of a bitter taste, and you really don't want it in your food. And the other thing I like to use quite a bit is a lot of local herbs and seasoning. This is a little bit of thyme, and we're going to be getting a little bit of basil, have a little bit of parsley. Another thing that really brings the flavor for the bouillon, of course, you have the salted pork. We're going to prepare the salted pork, get it ready for the bouillon. But we have some things that are you mostly find in this part of the Caribbean. These are ground provisions. This is actually a local yam, and it's called choux in Creole, but it's very similar to a potato, and when you cut into it, you can see it almost has like a pinkish flesh to it, and this is an excellent choice to put in the bouillon. We're going to cut this into little medallions, and it's going to boil down to the consistency of a potato, but not quite so soft. The other thing I like to use in my bouillon is I either use green plantain or macabou. Macabou is a variation of the plantain. There's several you can find here on the island. The reason I like to use the macabou is it's a little drier than the plantain, and for a very saucy bouillon, this helps soak up a lot of the flavor. Now, the other thing that we're going to be using is our local pork. With our local pork, this has been salted, and back in the olden days, in the colonial times, there was no refrigeration, so salted food was an acceptable method for preservation of different sorts of fish and meats and seafood. So we're going to be cutting the pork into these little medallions, and what I'm going to do, my secret is I'm going to season it with a little bit of this cold press extra virgin coconut oil. Coconut oil has a lot of distinctive properties. It's very good for high blood pressure, diabetes, kidney problems, and it has a lot of essential minerals and vitamins. And I like it because it's also a very healthier way to cook. Especially with this dish, I'm going to let it marinate in this coconut oil just slightly. It's going to give it a nice flavor as it starts to stew up. It's going to release these coconutty flavors into the bouillon. And one thing I also like to use a lot is also a local banana vinegar that's made here on the island. And what I like to do is I like to soak my salted pork a little bit between the oil and the vinegar just for a good 30-40 minutes right before I'm about to cook it, after I've washed the salted pork out. These are just some of the ingredients that we'll be using, and I'm going to be here getting everything ready for lunch. In a little while we're going to be checking up on the rest of the group and see how they're doing at the waterfall. So don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Wow guys, we made it! The beautiful SE6EP waterfall. What a beautiful hike! That was amazing! We're finally here! Well, hello guys! Hey, are you enjoying yourself? Ça va? Ça va? Very nice. Well, this is the beautiful heart of SE6EP. The beautiful waterfall. There's so many of these waterfalls. As you hike and you go further, you find another one and another one. And this time of year, good rain, good water. The water's very clear. Well, I hope you guys are hungry. Yeah! All right, great. So we're gonna hike all the way back, and we're gonna go down and have some great food. Very good.